Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Diablo 3's discussion of Adventure Mode. So if you're interested, stay a while and listen. Oh god, that was horrible. Deckard Cade rolled around in his grave. First off, I'm using my seasonal character. Don't worry about that. Everything I'm going to talk about is available to you with your campaign character. So you go into game settings, switch over to Adventure Mode. Now, whatever difficulty you completed the base game on, you're probably going to have some pretty decent gear, so I would recommend changing your difficulty level up a couple of notches. So if you start out at normal, with the gear that you completed the game with, I would guess you could probably bump it up at least to master. But experiment with that. I would start with at least going up 2 levels, and possibly more. The higher difficulty you go, the increase extra gold and XP you gain. So once you get decent gear, and it's pretty easy to get gear, you're going to be running Torment level 16, which is the max, fairly quickly. And that's plus 7,000 extra gold and plus 17,000 extra XP. So let's hop into a game, and we'll talk about the mechanics. Now, you might ask, extra XP, level 70 is the max, what's the story? There's something called Paragon Points. And I'll get into that in a second. Once you start an adventure mode, it's going to drop you into one of the 5 base camps. So, all of the acts are open, all of the waypoints are open. And you'll randomly be assigned. You'll start out on one of the base camps. We just so happened to start in the hidden camp in Chaldeum. Within Act 2, within all the acts, you'll see these exclamation points. And if you hover over that, it'll show you the bounties available. A bounty is you go to a waypoint, you complete an activity. Once you complete 5 activities in an act, you receive a Heraldric chest. You'll get a bunch of gold, a ton of XP, and crafting items specific to that act, and also the possibility of legendary items specific to that act, and then some random legendaries and other loot, other crafting materials and blood shards, etc. will drop from that. So let's go in and look at some of those crafting items. For each act, you get a specific crafting item that you can use in Kanai's Cube, and also using through the Enchantress to re-roll specific stats on your gear. Adventure mode is all about experimentation with gear and your character, because the drops are so prolific that you can really switch around your builds quite frequently. Let's say you're playing around with Disintegrate, and then all of a sudden you see an amazing weapon drop that maximizes your meteors, which is what I'm running. You can switch. You can switch over, and it's all about fine-tuning your gear and optimizing it to see how far you can get in the greater rifts. So let's talk about greater rifts. Once you run some bounties, get some equipment, maybe you're doing some crafting. You've gained some good gear from crafting through the blacksmith. You've upgraded your gems from Shen. You've re-rolled a couple of stats through the Enchantress. So, for example, on my helm, I've re-rolled. You see that little blue circular? I've re-rolled increased meteor damage. So my gear is pretty optimal. So once you get some really good gear, you're gonna really want to drop into the rifts. Let me just make sure I have the right gear on. All right, so I'm gonna use farming gear. My farming gear allows me to get a lot of gold. It generates a lot of toughness and a lot of death's breath. So what is a rift? A Nephilim rift is your entry point, and It's a series of maps in which you need to kill enemies to fill up your Nephilim Rift experience bar. Basically, you just get a bunch of experience. Once you get enough, you're going to have to face a Rift Guardian, which is basically one of the game's bosses that is there to protect you. If you defeat the Rift Guardian in Nephilim Rift, you will gain something called a Greater Rift Keystone. Those are used to open up Greater Rifts. So you have to have the Keystones to get into Greater Rifts. As you can see, I have 68. I've been running several of these. At Torment level 16, you get a drop of, I think you get 2, and you can actually get some gear that will increase that number. I have that gear on my follower, so I can get some extra. I can get up to 4 Keystones per rift. So let's just hop in and show you what this is about. Let me stack my buffs and hop in. So first off, what you'll see is you're in a random map. Every time you start, it's going to be a different map. Some maps are really good because they're open, easy to navigate. Some really suck balls, like what is it? The dungeon below Bastion's Keep. Those are. It's just a winding maze, and it's really difficult. Over here, you'll see your experience bar. Once this is at 100%, you'll generate a Rift Guardian. In a Nephilim Rift, there's no time limit. Items drop normally. You'll get gold, you'll get items, you'll see chests, you'll see corpses. It's really a randomized map, but there's going to be a lot more elites, which are the blue-colored enemies, and champions, which are the yellow-colored. So let's just run in and show you what's going on. So you can use Nephilim. Okay, so there's a group of elites. So let's see if I can. I was going to try to show you elites and champions drop orbs that bump up your experience faster than just killing trash mobs. The problem is the gear that I have maximizes my pickup radius to an absurd range. So it's tough to see these orbs, but we'll see. Oh, here's an elite.
Still waiting.
Okay, so let me hold on, guys. I'm trying to comment here. Okay, see at the top here, this orb with a skull on it. It's pulsing yellow. That is a Nephilim orb. They drop. You'll get 3 of those from elite groups, and 4 of them from. So I'll get 4 from this champion.
Not ready yet. I'm unstoppable.
So you probably can't see it, but I got 4 orbs. And really, the objective is to fill up this bar, kill as many elites and champions as you can, and get the Rift Guardian to spawn so you can get the Greater Rift Keystones. Now, one thing, check this out. You can see I'm generating an absurd amount of gold. Look at my toughness. Oh shit. Toughness is 0. What? How is that? Something's wrong here. Oh, there we go. Look at that. 6 billion, 15, 30 billion.
You dare attack me.
Some of the gear that I have is
Not ready yet.
It gives me armor based on the amount of gold that I pick up, and because I have some items that make the gold drops absurd, it makes my toughness off the charts. So
Need more time.
I'm almost immune when I'm running through here. I also have some gear on my follower that when I activate these pylons, In rifts, they're called pylons. In the regular game, they're called shrines. When I activate this, it's going to generate a champion mob. That makes it really, it's really nice to have that on your follower, because it speeds up. Oh, there's a goblin. Where'd that goblin go? Oh, I missed the goblin. Oh, there he is. So that was a blood shard goblin. Blood shards are used to gamble at Kadala, so you can gamble blood shards and possibly upgrade your gear that way. Okay, we're really close. I probably will be able to hit the Rift Guardian on one map, which is very rare. Typically, you have to go to anywhere from 2 to 5. Yeah, once I kill this guy, I'll have enough experience. Yep. So I can't even see him, but I'm just gonna. You can see his icon on the minimap. I'm just gonna drop my meteors in his general direction, and I killed him without even being able to see which boss it was. So the binder. I can't remember what the binder is, but so he'll drop a bunch of items. Now, one thing about Nephilim Rifts is once you kill the Guardian, there are still active mobs on the map. So be careful about that. You can't just let your guard down and pick up the gear. There's still going to be stuff. So let's hop back into town. When you're grinding Nephilim Rifts, you can grind it for experience, for money. But if you're grinding for the greater keystones, you want to come over here and talk to Auric right away, because to close the rift takes 30 seconds. That gives you enough time to come over here and salvage all of the items that you don't want. You can come over to your stash and drop off your gems that you got, drop off any items that you want to identify, and then you can come back and wait for this to close. That's kind of the routine to maximize generating your Greater Rift keystones. Because for some fucked up reason, they put a 30-second timer on this. So it gives you enough time to clear out your inventory, get ready for the next run. However, we've got enough keystones, so let's go into a Greater Rift and show you the differences and the benefits. I'm going to switch my gear over. I call this GR95. It stands for Greater Rift 95. I'll equip that, and you'll see it unequipped this item from my previous gear. You get legendary gems from running Greater Rifts. Legendary gems, there's about 20 or 25 of them, and they have unique properties. So let's just talk about one of them. This particular one, it's called Bane of the Trapped, and it increases the damage against enemies under the effects of control impairing effects by 45%. So that means that if an enemy is stunned or frozen, I'll increase the damage percentage by 45%. Because I'm using an ice meteor, a comet, this really benefits me. You get those legendary gems drop from Greater Guardians. Once you have them, you can increase the level of them. So, for example, this is rank 101. So we'll talk about that once I finish that. So I got my gear on. Did I? Yeah, I switched my gear. Okay. So now we're ready to go. Open up a Greater Rift. The difficulty scales pretty quickly. If you look at level 75, that is equivalent to running Torment level 16. So you saw how quickly I ran through the Torment level 16 Nephilim Rift. The gear that I have on here allows me to run Greater Rifts above 90, approximately the same speed. The reason I'm shooting above 90 is because at level 90 you get the maximum amount of gear to drop. So you'll get 12 items to drop plus some gemstones above 90, and then below 90 you'll get less than 12. Once you get to 90, the probability of those items to be better quality increase the higher you go, but the difficulty is not gradual, it's exponential. Going from 93, I can run a 93 level in about 3 minutes. Running a 100 level, which is just 7 higher, takes me 7, 8 minutes. And I actually have to use different gear because it's much more difficult. I can't just use the same gear and go up there. I could, but it's going to take me, 9 or 10 minutes. So I have to switch off to even more powerful gear. So let's hop in and we'll look at that. The other thing is when you defeat a Rift Guardian in a Greater Rift, you can gain ranks for your legendary gems. You get 3 for completing the Rift. You get an extra 1 if you do that without dying. And if you empower the Rift, which basically at level 93, I have to pay $67 million, or gold, you get yet an additional level. So again, these maps are random. And the difference is, over here you have a timer, so you have 15 minutes to complete this. You also don't have any drops from your enemies. Wow, the performance just is tanked. All of the drops that you're going to get come from the boss at the end. So I'm able to almost run the same speeds. I have to be a little bit more careful. I can't. Those explosions will definitely kill me. Whereas if I was running in a Nephilim Rift, I could tank those.
I'm just warming up. Still waiting.
Okay, see these purples? Those are orbs, the Nephilim orbs. So that increased. So you can see I'm well ahead of the time required for this map, or for above the 15 minutes. So this is another map that's this map is kind of a mess because they're
Still waiting.
it's easy to get lost. It wraps around. Oh geez, I almost died there. It's a drawback of trying to talk and watch what I'm doing.
Not ready. How does that feel?
All right, so you see the electricity coming off of me? That is a conduit. That pylon that I picked up gives me the electricity of Thor from my fingertips.
Didn't see that coming, did you? Still waiting.
Yeah, see how this, it's just a convoluted mess. I have to constantly stare at my mini-map to make sure that I'm following the right path. Okay, let's get out of this map. That's good. Alright, this map I think is fairly open. So we'll definitely generate the, whoa, I almost died. Or I felt like I almost died. We'll definitely generate the Guardian pretty quickly here. There he is. So he's right here. I'm just gonna probably kill him before he gets a chance to move. Okay, so this is where you get all of your loot right here. So look at all that. So arcane dust, emeralds, veiled crystal. So you get a bunch of crafting items, 406 blood items, reusable parts, and a bunch of legendaries and set items.
I am skilled at clarifying.
And then you can also talk to what's her name, Urshi, to upgrade your gems. So there's a mechanic in upgrading your gems. You can't just automatically do it For example, we just ran a level 93. This gem is 96, so it's above. The chance for me to upgrade that is only 8%. There has to be a differential of 10 between the rift level that you're running and the gem that you're upgrading to get a 100% chance to upgrade. So as you see here, upgrade chance 3 plus 2, 3 from successfully completing the rift. The plus 2 is 1 for not dying and 2 because we spent the 67 million gold. So we'll just pick this level 70, which will give us a 100% chance. If I went over to this level 88, it drops me down to a 60% chance. So we'll just maximize this.
I am returning to town.
And then once you get in town, if you're going to run these, you can go ahead and come over to your stash, drop off your gear, and then talk to Oric. Now see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Did I miss an item? Typically you always get 12. I must have missed an item. And then you get a bunch of gems. So if you're running greater rifts, which since you can kick them out pretty quickly, I'll do like 10 in a row. I'll just come, I'll drop off my gems, I'll drop off all of my, running out of space to put my gear, drop off all of my items. Yeah. Gonna have to do some identifying, because look at, got a bunch of stuff in there, a couple of stuff in here, entire chest there, some stuff in here. So if you're running greater rifts, you're going to come over to Oric. Once you drop off your stuff, talk to him.
Nicely done.
And so I did that in under 3 minutes. That's a pretty good time. So you can run, you run 10 of those in a row. You're talking maybe 45 minutes tops with all this setup and stuff. So you can do it pretty quickly. And you're getting 12 drops per session. You can see how the gear can be pretty prolific. And then this closes out almost immediately after you talk to him. So you can go ahead and run another one. Just keep on churning it out and getting the gear. Once you get these blood shards, you can come over to Kadala. Like I'm looking to upgrade my helm. This is a kind of a bad way to do it, but it's a way of getting rid of blood shards, because once you can only carry a set amount, so I can carry up to 1,600. So I'll come over here, switch over to armor,
See you soon.
and just waste all of my blood shards, hoping that I'll get,
That's
I
nice.
can't pick up anything
Can I
else.
have it back?
hoping to get my helm, but no, I didn't. So then just come over here, salvage all that stuff, and none of that stuff is interesting to me, so I'll salvage that up. This is another way of getting your Forgotten Souls from legendaries pretty quickly. And I earned a Paragon point, so let's go ahead and spend that. And then it's rinse and repeat. Once you get some decent gear, maybe it's missing one property, you can come over to your Enchantress and try to re-roll that specific item. Once you get better gear, then you can try to challenge yourself, bump this up higher, see how far you can push it. But for me, it was really about the opportunity to experiment with all of the different options that a character offers, much greater than you could possibly do in campaign mode. So that's a really quick overview of the adventure mode, the rifts. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.